Hey, it's Lucas, and today we're going to be reviewing this Banana Sherbet. So, Banana Sherbet from Herdade Das Barrocas, I know that I've just butchered that name, is a cross between Sunset Sherbet, which is one of my personal favourites, banana, and kosher kush. This is beta irradiated flour, and it's coming in at £8 per gram, so £80 for 10 grams. Before we get into this video, I just need to say to YouTube that this is 100% legal medication here in the United Kingdom. This was legally prescribed to me by a doctor. I'm not going to be showing the medication in this video, and I'm not going to be taking the medication in this video. This video follows all of YouTube's guidelines. So starting out with the packaging, if you're not bothered about the packaging, then just skip ahead a few minutes. This to me is nice. I quite like this. I always prefer black pots over white pots. I don't know why. I just feel like the white pots make it look too medical and too... It feels like there's no care put into it. It's just generic, it's blank, and it looks shit in my opinion. But this, just putting in a black pot already makes it look more premium to me, but the whole green and yellow label, I think that goes very nicely with banana, which is what it's supposed to be, and also it just makes it look good. The different colours which indicate the different strains is always a nice touch. It's just boring to me when it comes in a white pot, so for this, it's not the best, I will say, but it's better than just plain old boring white, so I'm actually going to give this a 7 out of 10. I think this looked quite nice. Moving on to the looks, if you want to see what this bud looks like, I will leave a link in the pinned comment. Click on that, that'll take you to a short. I'm obviously not going to be showing the bud in this video because I don't want it to get age restricted. So as soon as you open the pot, this looks good to me. Apart from it being slightly yellow and looking slightly old, the nug structure is very nice. They look like little Christmas trees. You get a good mixture of larger nugs and smaller nugs. Good dusting of trichomes, like I said. It's just very, very nice. Apart from just being slightly old and yellow looking, that is my only gripe with the looks. It looks decent, so I'm going to give it a 7.5 for the looks. After putting this in a glass jar for a month with a Boveda pack, the smell definitely improved, but it's not the best still. It's slightly creamy, slightly green banana-ish, but honestly the top note is just hay. It's really not that great. The little bit of creamy banana that you do get is nice, but if you smell it too long, it just starts to smell like hay, so I can't give it a good rating for the smell. I don't know whether that's due to the irradiation or what, but it's just not that good. Even after a month in a jar with a Boveda pack, it still smells a little bit like hay, which is not what you want. So smell wise, just a 5 for the whole nugs. And then when you grind it up, it gets that little bit sweeter, but it's still predominantly green banana, which again is not a favorite of mine. I do prefer the sweeter smells. Broken down, I'd bump it up to a 6, but overall I'm just going to give it, you know what, yeah, we'll give it a 6 overall. It's not the best, but it's definitely not the worst. And moving on to the taste, I like to medicate through a Mighty using a water pipe. I start out at 160 usually if I can be bothered, but if I can't, then I'll just go straight in at 180 to 210. I like to temp step it to see the whole range of flavours, but this unfortunately didn't have a lot of flavour. Starting out at 160, you get a vegetal, underripe green banana taste, which is fine, I guess, but it's not amazing. And then as you bump it up a little bit, around 175 to 180, it becomes creamy, which I think is from the Sunset Sherbet. Here's where it starts to get pretty nice. It's creamy, but still a little bit vegetal green banana, and then after that, if you keep temp stepping, the flavor's just gone. So there's not a lot of flavor, but the flavor that you do get at the start, and also when you get to around 175, 180, is nice. It's just a shame that it doesn't last very long and it's not very powerful at all. A mate of mine who smokes his medication says that this burns grey. He says that it's not totally black, but it's not totally white. It's a passable kind of mid-grey burn. And he also said that the flavour is pretty similar to when it's vaped. You get more of the creaminess rather than the green banana, but it's still pretty similar. There's not much difference there. God, tripped over my words there. In the Mighty, this strain is not very smooth. The Mighty makes me cough anyway. Some strains are better, some strains are worse. If this was a scale and we're starting out right in the middle where the Mighty just makes me cough anyway, I would say that this makes me cough more than other strains. Yeah, this is on the harsher end is what I want to say. Not sure how to word that. I have this idea of a scale in my mind, and this is definitely pushing me towards coughing a lot rather than not coughing at all, if that makes any sense. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a little bit rusty. I haven't made a video in like 2 weeks because I've been so ill. Moving on to the main event, the high. This is actually really nice and it helps me a lot. I've been using this as a mid-afternoon to evening / bedtime strain, and it relaxes the hell out of me. It is very, very nice. I feel like I naturally carry a lot of tension in my shoulders. I don't know why. I just walk around with and feel like I'm just carrying a lot here, like I'm always sort of ready for a fight or whatever. And then when I come home from my day and I'm inside my house, I calm down, I have a little bit of this, my shoulders just, it feels like they just droop and relax, and I feel kind of like I'm melting. I can use this in the morning, but for me, it's a little bit too calming for a morning strain. It doesn't give me any get up and go. I can still do what I need to do, but I very much prefer this in an afternoon. I would say probably around 3 to 6 p.m. It's a very much a wind down, relax, not gonna knock you out. It's not gonna make you go to sleep, or at least it didn't me, unless I used a lot more of it. But if you just have one capsule of this in the afternoon/evening, it's going to wind you down and you're just going to melt, basically. It definitely quiets my mind and it gives me heavy eyes, but it's not really much of a head high. It is very much a body high with slight head feelings, like I said, droopy eyes, but not hot eyes, or not buzzy in any way like a sativa where you feel very much head high. It almost sort of settles just on top of your eyelids so that it's slightly droopy and your shoulders are relaxed. And for me personally, it turns my mind off in where I don't have to overthink and go on and keep racing and racing. I like to say that it's stupid weed is how I would describe it. It doesn't make you feel dumb, but it makes it hard to form thoughts, and for me, that's what I need on a night time, because that's when my mind starts to race and all the negative thoughts come in. This just dumbs my mind down, shuts it off, relaxes my body, and very much just calms me and sets me up for the evening and for sleep. So now jumping into the rating. Smell, I'm going to give it a 5.5. I'm a little bit disappointed. When I first smelled it, wasn't great, and then after a month in a glass jar with a Boveda pack, it's still not great. If anything, it smells more like hay than when I started out. It's got slightly creamy, slightly banana-y smell to it, but it is overwhelmingly hay, so I'm going to give it a 5.5 for the smell. Looks for me are going to get a 7.5. I'm not mad about how this looks at all, apart from it being just a tiny little bit yellow and old. The expiry on the tub says 04/25, so I guess it is kind of old. It's January 25 right now, so yeah, I can see that. I got this in December 24, so yeah, not very long on the expiry, so I can see why it looks quite old. But apart from that, nice looking bud, no complaints. 7.5 out of 10. Taste, I'm going to give a 6 out of 10. The fact that it's got any flavour at all on medical is just mind-blowing, so yeah, that's got to give it some points. But the flavour itself is not very strong, and also not really my favourite. I like the creamy side of it, I don't really like the vegetal green banana side of it, so for that I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. It could just be my palate, maybe it's not for me, but the fact that there's hardly any flavour at all is, again, bad, but that's what we're used to on medical, so, you know, it is what it is. Overall, I am going to give Banana Sherbet from Herdade Das Barrocas. I know that I've just butchered that name again. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. This is not bad at all. I would get this again, and I don't know how many times I've said that about the bud that I've tried, but I don't think it's very often. I would definitely get this again in the future. I'm going to wait for this batch to expire and potentially try the new batch if I can time it right, but yeah, 7 out of 10 for medical bud is not bad, so yeah, definitely go out and try this. If you like this video, leave a like, leave me a comment telling me if you've tried Banana Sherbet and what I should get on my next script. I'm sorry if this video was a little bit all over the place. Like I said earlier, this is the first video I've made in ages because I've been really sick. So yeah, welcome back to me. Happy New Year to anybody who missed my first video of the year. Subscribe for more videos. There's going to be a lot coming this year. So yeah, make sure to subscribe. Peace.